but he is going to bring more back. Anyways. Now that he has this observer and has cleared out the creep, he is going to, that was sitting in front of his base, he is going to start cutting down the rocks and go for the gold. What's over there for static defense? Nothing. Except a spine crawler. But there is a ton of Ling Hydra. So he can hold this, but it might prove to be difficult. I mean, okay. He needs to set up a good concave. This observer will not be able to stay here because there actually is anti-air in this composition. Unlike last game. He's gonna go the other way. And I've actually done this exact same thing before, where I cut down the rocks and change my mind and go the other way because I realize he knows. But I was playing someone nowhere near Sue's level, obviously. So let's see how this goes. He has a much better composition than the guy I played. Basically, he has no roaches. Which the guy I played was on Roach Hydra, and so, like, the roaches didn't do anything, and, like, this is one of the few times where you want speedlings instead of roaches. Like, right now, it's good. Once the Colossi come out, then it's like, why do you have speedlings? And hydras. Now there's nothing to protect your hydras, and then they'll all melt. But, I mean, Colossus is a ways off. So, he's gonna set up for a surround, and he will go for it now that his army is in place. Some force fields and a time warp will go down. Guardian shield is also activated. Hydras are shooting, but I feel like it's more the Lings right now that are dealing, that are being a nuisance, because there's just not enough zealots here. The Lings do eventually get cleaned up, but there's a lot of Hydras still, so he really needs, these force fields have to be perfect, and while they've been good, they've still letting in a lot of Hydra Ling. Okay, that was a critical warp-in of zealots. Those will definitely help against pretty much everything in this composition. I just don't think he has enough. Like, 3 Immortals are good, but 3 Immortals do not beat this many Hydras. It doesn't matter how good your force fields are. He's going to lose that Immortal too if he can't... Oh, okay, there he goes. Barely. The Speedlings could get it. That would be funny. I guess, sort of. Not for the Immortal. It's like, you're a zealot. You've died. Well, sort of died. And you've been placed in an Immortal shell, and now you're being surrounded by Zerglings, which you used to laugh at. I feel bad when an Immortal ever dies from Zerglings. It's kind of like the twist of fate or something. Anyways, Immortal drop in the main. I imagine those will be Zealots. Immortals are picked up again. Yeah, there's Zealots. Immortals are being microed. One does fall. There is another one though. That is coming this way. And Zest realizes he can't do anything. He waited too long, and he will tap out. Thoughts?
Not bad.
Huh?
Pretty straightforward victory.
No.
It's just kind of sad, like, Sue constantly striding forward and just dreading that he might get to the finals and lose again.
Nah. Yeah. Anyways,
Are you okay, Zamadora?
just check. Whether I'm playing StarCraft or casting StarCraft, tech is always the problem.
You should upgrade to a lair.
Do I look like a Zerg?
I mean, get a robo or something. But
I don't think I have enough psionic energy for that. Anyways, this will be our last game of the day. Orbital command centers can call down mules to gather additional resources. Use mules every chance you get.
thank you for a very basic Terran tip.
I will note that there are no Terrans in this game. Anyways! Let me switch the overlay back so you guys can see. And yeah. We'll introduce our first player.
Alright then. In the final match between Zendor and his cousin, there is spawning in the bottom right, the teal Protoss. Whoops. Weren't we doing in the end of,
No.
Oh. We weren't.
No.
What? We didn't cover the last of that, though.
Yes, we're finishing that next week.
Then why did you say we had 10 games?
Because there are 7 in this one and I miscounted something.
Oh. Moving on, spawning in the bottom right, the teal Protoss that is sadly not Zenador through Zest.
I was like listening to your intro and I'm like, is this a recording or something? Spawning in the top right, the orange Zerg. It is Sue, who is not my cousin.
It was more trying to fill space for the loading screen to go away, because it's a delay and we haven't gotten the overlay back yet, so yeah.
Nice. Well done. Anyways. What can you tell us about Zest?
Huh? to get this far, he obviously has to be what I enjoy calling massively accomplished. He's frequently in the standings when I'm looking at him. Very one of the, as you've said, Korean Protoss are usually some of the best, and I'd say he's definitely good among those.
Yeah, according to... So, Alikilak is kind of useful for stuff. One of the things I noticed is that, like, on the stats, it records when the last time a foreigner beat a Korean Protoss. Now, it's not like all Korean Protoss are like Imba, or like Protoss is Imba, necessarily.
Scarlet doesn't agree, but yes.
Yeah, Scarlet will say that Protoss is Imba, and she's kind of right in some senses. It's largely because Protoss doesn't know anything other than how to... It's a balance issue, as I explained earlier. So, Protoss doesn't have other options in order to win, so they go for these, like, really frustrating builds, and yeah. It's an economy thing. It's like, when push comes to shove, what are you expecting to happen? That being said, so, like, it doesn't record when the last time a Korean Terran or the foreigner beat a Korean Zerg, but it records the last time a foreigner beat a Korean Protoss, and it essentially is like, well, it's been this long. And, I mean, if you think about it, like, when you're looking at the best of the best for the Zerg, there are a lot of foreigners that you tend to think of. So, like, a Korean Zerg is not like, oh. Like, yes, the Korean Zerg are probably better than the foreigner Zerg. Probably. Notice, I have to preface that, right? But when you think about the Protoss, like, who's your best foreigner Protoss? Lobo? Naniwa? Elfie? Showtime? I mean, what have they accomplished? So, what does that leave for Korean development? Well, yeah. How many Korean Protoss are there that are considered greats in the StarCraft community? Rain, Zest, MC, SOS, Parting, Hero. There's so many that I'm repeating the same name and talking about different people. So yeah, that's why that is that way. So when we put Zest in the list, yes, he's one of the best Korean Protoss, but it's not like this is miles ahead of saying, oh, Naniwa is the best foreigner Protoss. Now, I'm not saying that Zest is or Naniwa is, but when we're talking in that type of discussion and to put that name in that category as a contender, that's kind of what you're looking at.